Alright, yo guys, how's it going? It's your boy Dom, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been about 19 days since my last video. It's been about 3 weeks actually, 20 now. Since, 3 Saturdays ago, I reviewed the Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson fight, as well as the two undercards before that on UFC 249. And this channel has been lacking with direction. I also just haven't had the motivation to make videos because, I've had tons of ideas, but I have too many ideas and I get overwhelmed and I don't have the motivation to make any specific video. Because my streaming setup, I just feel like I can do better. Anyway, I want to start improving the quality of my content. The quantity will come once I have really a solid identity and I have a better bearing of what I want to be doing with this channel. But I want to talk about the MLB. I know that. And the MLB is really going crazy right now. A lot of stuff is happening from the beginning of coronavirus in mid-March till now. We've gone from being 2 weeks away from opening day, super excited, to now we have no idea if we're going to have a season, and the future of baseball might be in jeopardy even. We don't, there's certain things that are getting worse every single day, and I don't know, nothing really looks good that's coming out of this whole situation. So what I wanted to do is give you guys a state of the MLB update. I originally planned this video for May 13th, and I've been procrastinating it. I've been also waiting, hoping that they would, reach a finalized deal between the Players Union and the MLBPA and the MLB, and we could have a season. At least a plan in place by now for a season, per Zoom. People were talking about the Arizona plan, and baseball was going to be the first sport back. But now the salaries are just making this impossible to negotiate for the two sides. And it's a shame because of the effects it's having on society and baseball as a whole. And I think it begins with the news about the draft. And this came out, I actually want to put this in here in the stream. You'll bear with me for a moment. I was going to show you, so basically this news came out at the beginning of May, around May 8th or 9th. And they decided that the 2020 MLB draft would have 5 rounds instead of the original 40. I think they took out the last 10, and it's been 40. But now it was just gonna have 5 rounds. It was basically just gonna be a shortened draft, hoping that this would be a 1-year deal. Sorry, bear with me for one moment. And if I could show you guys, basically the draft was gonna be shortened to 5 rounds. And that's bad because that's a tenth of the players are getting drafted into the MLB to fill the farm systems, and only 120 players would be drafted in comparison to the 1,217 that were selected in 2019. Unsigned players can sign for a maximum of 20K, as you can see there on this NESN report, and then. The proposal for 10-round draft was up, and it couldn't be agreed upon. And anyway, the draft was for June 10th and 11th, so that's going to happen still. Although, just within the last 2 days, this article actually came out yesterday from Jeff Passan, who's been reporting a ton on this, obviously, one of the biggest writers in baseball. Reporters as well, and the MILB has cut hundreds, I've heard thousands even, of players amid the pandemic. In this other in this other meme on Facebook, which I'm going to talk about in a second for a reason, they said over 1,000 players could see their baseball careers end over the next week. And this basically, it began with the A's, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more later, who basically said that at the beginning of June, they're going to stop paying their minor leaguers the $400 a week stipend thing they were paying them. And that basically just screws baseball up, as I'm going to talk about more later. Anyway, the way fans see this, is hundreds of minor leagues players were cut today and lost their jobs. Many more will be released. Over 1,000 players could see their baseball careers end. Fans are feeling, fans are going with these minor league players, obviously. And if we look at these comments, you can see, something else that I should mention. Obviously, we've seen the Blake Snell attitudes from players about just like, if I'm not getting my full salary, I don't want to be out there, and different stuff about the health risks and stuff. But in my opinion, really, the fans turning on the players is only a negotiating point for the business, for the business of the MLB and the owners, and and really for the league to try to force the players to come back. It's only, but a negotiating chip. It's a negotiating chip that won't change. The players really are not going to play for 20% of their salary, and like even the guys who are making $262,000, or who were making $553K, which was the MLB minimum, who are now going to be making $262,000. Those guys, don't. Those guys see themselves as getting some $1 million contract one day, and then they're going to get $200,000 of that. Like, the trickle down effect. Like, none of the players liked this proposal. They were united against it, obviously. And to say that the MLB couldn't pay it it's kind of hard to see why the MLB doesn't want to pay it, other than saying that, the future, like this is the future of baseball that we're talking about, especially with the minors, and, allowing there to be a season this year, even if it means the owners have to pay more than they want, they have to pay some out of pocket. You do own this team, and you own it, like, that means you should invest, like, I mean, in my opinion, like, you should invest in it, like, you should, like, until you have nothing left, like, you shouldn't allow it to just go dormant. I mean, because just the way this could impact the sport, those teams, those businesses, all these different aspects of it long term is so, scary. Like, we've seen over the past bunch of years, the MLB struggles in comparison to the NBA and the NFL. We know that in certain ways, especially with social media, evolving into like a new generation, and it's struggling to get media coverage over the past decade. Sports talk has just not been, baseball sports talk has not been prevalent enough. But I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it, but really, it's if the greedy players don't want to play, I'll watch AAA. That's fine with me, is what these guys say. And some, I don't know, like these young 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds, I don't know, 16-year-olds getting released. This is a mess, right? The fact that 1,000 minor leaguers got cut this week, nearly. That's it, just really, it's unspeakable. Like, those are jobs that are getting thrown out the window. And I wish I could provide more analysis on that, but it's harder to. I also wanted to say, and so that's what fans think on the matter. But as for what's actually going to happen, it's totally up in the air. Like, whatever the fans think of it, whatever the owners think of it, the players are the ones who need to say we're going to play. The players need to step on the diamond and play if there's going to be baseball. And they're not going to just flood it with minor leaguers and piss off the major leaguers. I wasn't alive in 1994, but, I know that they learned from that history. Anyway, so there's some stuff coming out, like this article from the Rockies, SB Nation, Purple Row, saying that the MLB Players Association was going to offer a counter proposal yesterday. This is this Max Scherzer tweet, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen by now. If you haven't seen it, you can pause and read it. But basically, he's discussing that the players are united against this. They don't want to take a second huge pay cut, like beyond their prorated salaries. He's also saying that he says, "I'm glad to hear other players voice the same viewpoint and believe MLB's economic strategy would completely change if all documentation were to become public information." That's kind of big here because I don't know, what are they hiding from us? That's why I haven't made this video for 16 days. I was originally going to make it on May 13th. There's something that's going to cause baseball not to have a season here. Why can't the owners pay the players? Why can't the owners take a little bit of a loss here? It's gonna, long term, you're gonna make the money back if baseball succeeds. You know that. Don't be pour it all in for baseball. If I owned a baseball team and I was a billionaire, okay, that's a bad argument because any one of us could say that, but man, if all documentation were to become public information, what are they hiding from us? Why can't they make a plan work to save baseball? It's hard for me to believe that in the year 2020 we're going to give, the owners of baseball's teams are going to give up on it, and that's going to screw it. I mean, there's all this messy reporting about, we don't know, and obviously the players don't want to take more pay cuts. They're not gonna, but sharing the financial risk with the owners while taking all the health risk themselves. Anyway, I'm gonna link all these articles so you can read them. But really, and then so there's some stuff coming out like that saying that that's somewhat optimistic. This article has the same information from Bleacher Report, and it was written on the same day. I don't know what time. That was early in the day. But this is basically the same amount of information. The players don't want to take a pay cut, and they're saying the chances of a season are pretty close to zero. John Heyman in a call or whatever from getting text from players. So it's not going well, obviously. And there's this 82 game proposal. I guess the players' proposal that includes them keeping more salary includes more than 82 games. I'm all in favor of that. Play more games. If you're figuring it out and testing them, then you've got the whole setup. Play 20 more games. Play 100 more games. I don't care. Play as many games as you need to, and people are going to watch them because of the coronavirus and everything. There's honestly not a reason to play only 82 games. We're only in May. We can totally finish this season out and move on to the next one. We're not the NBA in that regard. Baseball, this is, the concerns here are just that the owners don't want to lose a little bit of money for the long-term health of the league and the sport, which is, that's disgusting. See, and here's the actual pay cuts. Yeah, with 563 going down to 262, the 1 million going down to 434, 30, and then 35 obviously going down to 7.84 is ridiculous. Owners could lose $4 billion if there's no season. So, paying the prorated salaries of players without fans would cost a loss of $640,000 each game. So, and they're already anticipating canceling the minor league season. So the final article I have for you guys kind of details where we end up. This is Inside the Bucks Basement. Shout out to them. This is a article titled "The Very Future of Baseball is Not Considered," where it discusses that the A's obviously decided not to, as I said I was going to talk about this, the A's decided they're not going to pay players after May 31st, minor league players after May 31st, the $400 stipend out of a mil, that would cost them $1 million total. And this article basically says, is saying what I say, that the future of baseball is obviously in jeopardy if you just, destroy the minor leagues by not paying the players. That's, it's obvious if you put that logic together. I mean, and then it goes in details the obvious, these are the long-term economic implications that aren't going to kill the sport, but the fact that that's just going to put it at least third, maybe fourth in American society for years to come and kind of cement that spot. It's not reaching for, being a premier sport for kids to play. This question, if Bobby Manila were starting his career today, is there any way to choose baseball? Probably not. And, I mean, this is pretty clear. And yeah, he's saying, what happens to the guys that are getting a big payday now? That they've worked 10 or 15 years and they've had faith in whatever deal they've had and tried to win with their team and be a team guy so that they can get their big contract. That's Colton Wong, not Bryce Harper. He's getting his 3-year, $15 million deal, and then now he's getting paid what? So that's $15 million now. He's getting $4.05 million. See, that's his generational wealth. And he's really not getting $15 million. He's getting $7.5. Taxes and other stuff that, you're really not going to see. He would really see maybe $2 million then, say, if out of that $4.05 million, say he sees $2 million that actually reaches his bank account after taxes and everything somehow. He was supposed to get $15 million, with the deal he signed said $15 million. He doesn't feel like $2 million is as fair. No matter what, they're not just signing their life. They're not signing their life's works away into, 15%, 20% of that. I honestly find it just a selfish negotiation point, similar to I don't know, when people, when privileged people in today's society are talking about, I don't know, stuff that, and people, talk to them about that, it's like fans talking to players saying you should just go play. I think it's a total lack of perspective. People just want other people to do whatever for their own amusement and benefit. But in this case, the long-term future of the MLB is at stake. And, yeah. Anyway, I think this is a good sentence to end on. When I really think about this whole situation, one thing is clear. MLB is its own worst enemy. They have the convenience of blaming a virus right now, but rest assured the disease-killing baseball started long before COVID-19 reared its ugly head. I'm going to end it on that because that's absolute facts. That's the truth. And with that being said, it's your boy Dom. I'm going to continue to bring you guys content, try to provide a role in all of this because I care. And with that being said, it's been a pleasure, and I'm out. Once I can stop the stream on YouTube.